Always brought to you by versus CHRAJ. It's set to open a probe into the bombshell galamsey. One accuses several top government officials in Dafiamekbo visited the premises of CHRAJ with a 5-page petition.
We are told by the lawyer that he had an emergency, so he had to rather rush to his village.
Quote, not a single piece of evidence was addressed, but disagrees. What did he say specifically in his petition?
With grave allegations of corruption, conflict of and in the 1992 Constitution, Section 7, goes on to mention Prof Boateng has subsequently
occurred.
Yes.
And I believe he's referring to the response to Gabia's
allegations. It is only fair and proper that your good office, which is CHRAJ,
damage that the illegal mining is causing this particular country and history. Now, beyond the names that were mentioned in the original report, say himself.
Yes, and the evidence that they are standing on is exact office with respect to the allegations of corruption, conflict of interest, and abuse of the office. The former chairperson of the same committee in respect of matters also gives further clarity to this statement.
And indeed, himself or his associates involved in illegal mining. Joseph Boateng, who is joining us, but just who was secretary to the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, and Professor.
And then he said, I bribed the end of his statement because then he was a minister. So I think this matter.
Wait a minute, did you say that you also reported him?
Oh, that I knew a lot. So everything that I said was factual. If you contact the NID, I think they have the report.
Were also engaged in illegal mining.
And then subsequent to that, they wanted to speak to Prof. But because I kept asking the police that I think you need to invite Prof too, and they said administrative processes.
Told the police that Prof Boateng himself was also involved in a bigger petition for the CHRAJ to look into itself. Mr. Joseph Boateng joins us on the line right now. Mr. In your custody.
That is so. The petition, which was brought personally by leading it, the next steps will be to acknowledge it tomorrow, whether the allegations that have been made.
It's a prima facie.
We have to, we have to. The law requires
at the initial stage.
Brought in by the petition. After studying them, aspects of the petition, when we are satisfied, we would then proceed to determine people. And so the ones who are germane that they have, of course, as
and just a bit on the allegations of destruction of the environment.
Well, I can give you a general answer because it exists. They are rights by themselves. Fiduciary relationships have been established between those allegations. Certainly will be triggering the petition, and to what extent.
The fact that this is such a high-profile matter that when before the president himself set up, does it change anything? Does it change your
body? We will perform our mandate as required of any more weight or reduce the weight on it.
Lawyers to expect to hear from you not on acknowledgement but on
the preliminary investigation and come to a conclusion that there is some, whether it is abuse of office invoked, would be the ones that will be coming. Looking at getting back to the lawyers, if any, and then the preliminary have over this protracted matter, we will galamsey issues which have bedeviled the public.
Before the police CID, the police, and also made further allegations against Prof Boateng, possibly then duplicating investigative work.
Tries to evoke the mandates that are within, and so who else, even if they are aspects of the investigation, corruption is also criminal, and there is a need to see, and it's certainly within the Commission's mandate, study the complaint and the attachment and proceed with the preliminary investigation. I cannot give you a timeline.
The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Nick Papo, of this petition, he joins us on the telephone line right now. Nick Papo, thanks for there's even a basis to open a full-scale probe. Based on what you've submitted, do you believe you meet that threshold?
Of corruption, abuse of public office, and human rights violations. If you look at he provided maps, he provided letters, and when he's searching against certain people, I am very confident that we have really passed that threshold. What is independent forum that such as CHRAJ to investigate all the allegations that we can find. We tried the interministerial committee, a narration or an amalgamation of personal grievances by Professor Boateng. If we don't find it through CHRAJ, then you and I, we are doomed. Then we must as well resign ourselves to import it for you and I. It's also treated. You know the high mercury that is being found. Remind him that there's a petition on Ghana importing water very soon.
Played a bit of
Correct.
that on this network.
Correct. But holistically, we cannot deal with information about this particular issue, be given a forum opportunity for us to deal with this matter once and for all. Find out so that at least we can have some reforms. And I believe the commission would be able to come.
But you acknowledge that as far as Charles be subject of a probe, so the police is already looking into this matter.
Being held accountable, just have this interministerial committee. We have Operation Vanguard. We have the gossip. What is the end result? As a word, an amalgamation of personal grievances. It is not a report. It was not put. So, well, the honourable member of parliament looks left, and the media and everybody follow through. And let's see what will happen.
You talked about the only play. Their approach is to use a parliamentary system.
But we will go beyond raising what it would take the lead. And it is our position to call for a...
You and I checked in the records of Ghana. You and I, as we sit here today, have you heard anything about the COVID probe?
I guess what's the...
Back to the more legal aspects of this. Parliament does not have the mandate to deal with abuse of human rights. The only constitutional body that has the mandate probably will deal with issues of budget, for example, or issues to do with things that you or CHRAJ. And Commissioner Boateng explained it excellently.
Roxanne Dafiamekbo, who has tonight sent a petition to CHRAJ upon Boateng, and you heard the CHRAJ boss confirm that they have received the probe and that will be communicated to the petitioners. The special prosecutor and backing a parliamentary probe.
Public inquiry into the Frimpong Boateng galamsey reports and half-hearted explanations from Kufuor's complicity in this whole scandal has been 2021. 2 years ago. Can you believe it? The only way to establish the truth, a publicly televised and bipartisan inquiry, mentally failed fight against by probing the Frimpong Boateng galamsey reports and prosecute against the state as contained in the drain in the name of fighting illegal mining. Now buying drones to fight galamsey, I am putting my presence united, crying for justice. Because people who, for their own greed, people are murderers who must not be shielded.
Democratic Congress. Newsnight in a minute.